Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a really close look at a market that's, well, quite literally shaping the future of medicine. It's the global medical product design and development services market.
Hmm.
And this isn't just about, revenue figures. It's really about the engine behind new medical technologies, right from the concept stage all the way to the patient.
That's right. These specialized services are absolutely critical.
Yeah, critical for everything. Accelerating products to market,
Yeah.
navigating these incredibly complex global regulations.
Which seem to get more complex every year.
Exactly. And ultimately improving patient outcomes around the world. And based on our sources, this market isn't just growing, it seems to be absolutely soaring.
It really is. The global numbers, they really highlight that immense scale we're talking about.
Yeah.
So back in 2021, this market generated a total revenue of 7,917.99 million,
Almost $8 billion. Dollars.
pretty much.
Mhm.
Looking ahead, it's projected to rise pretty sharply to 12,884.5 million by 2025. But here's where it gets, well, staggering. By 2033, the market is expected to reach 34,117.2 million.
Wow, over $34 billion. Dollars.
Yes. And this represents a really robust compound annual growth rate, or CEGR, of 12.944%.
Right, and by CGR, just for anyone who might not, swim in market reports daily, that's the compound annual growth rate. Essentially, it's the average annual growth rate over that whole period kind of smoothed out. It gives us a clearer picture of the sustained expansion.
Exactly. It's a key metric.
And when we talk about these medical product design and development services, we're really looking at comprehensive partnerships, aren't we?
Absolutely. It covers the whole life cycle,
Everything from the initial idea, feasibility studies, prototyping,
all the way through usability testing, figuring out regulatory strategies, helping with submissions.
supporting clinical trials, even scaling up for manufacturing. It's end to end.
It's vital support for innovation. These aren't just, small tasks. They're deep partnerships.
Okay, so that global number, over $34 billion by 2033, that's clearly impressive. But what does this mean for different parts of the world? And maybe more importantly, what's actually driving this growth in these various regions? Let's maybe unpack that region by region. Let's start with North America. Our sources say it's consistently been the leader here.
It has. Yeah, North America recorded 3,452.24 million in revenue back in 2021.
Okay.
This is expected to reach 5,533.89 million by 2025, and then surge to 14,226.9 million by 2033.
$14 billion dollars just in North America.
That's right, with a SCA-GR for the region of 12.528%.
That's fascinating, though. North America, it's a more mature market in many ways.
Yeah.
What keeps it dominant? Is it just the sheer volume of R&D, or is there something else keeping it at the forefront for these kinds of services?
Well, it's really a combination of factors. North America benefits from this deeply robust ecosystem. They got biotech funding,
Right.
a highly innovative pharma and medical device sector, and well-established, even if complex, regulatory pathways like the FDA's. All this drives consistent demand for these specialized design and development services.
So it's not just more products, but maybe more complex ones too.
Exactly. Companies here aren't just developing lots of products. They're often developing highly complex, very capital-intensive devices and therapies. And that just necessitates bringing in external expertise to navigate that whole life cycle efficiently.
Makes sense. And if we zoom in a bit within North America, the US is clearly the giant. Our sources show it at, what, 2,810.13 million in 2021?
Great.
Projected to hit 11,428.4 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 12.401%. But looking at the percentages, Canada and Mexico are also showing some pretty significant momentum, right?
Absolutely. While the U.S. leads in just a sheer volume, Canada actually boasts a slightly higher CAGR at 13.316%.
Oh, interesting.
It's growing from $362.49 million in 2021 to $1,623.28 million by 2033. This often reflects, a burgeoning tech and health innovation scene there, maybe sometimes coupled with easier access to capital for smaller ventures.
Okay.
And Mexico also shows really strong growth. It's expanding from $279.63 million in 2021 up to $11,175.1 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of 12.71%.
What's driving that in Mexico, do you think?
It likely points to increasing domestic healthcare investment, a growing manufacturing footprint, which creates opportunities for both local and international design partnerships.
Right. Okay, so moving from those well-established North American markets, let's turn our gaze over to Europe. Our sources describe Europe as a consistent and sort of foundational growth engine in the space.
It certainly is. Europe generated 1,694.45 million to 2021.
Okay.
That's forecasted to climb to 2,692.6 million by 2023. So growing at a KGR of 12.464%, very close to North America's rate.
Very close. So beyond just the overall numbers, what makes Europe such a steady performer here? Are there specific dynamics within the different European markets driving this consistent demand?
Well, one key dynamic is the regulatory landscape. It's fragmented in ways, but also deeply integrated, especially across the EU. Navigating that requires really specialized expertise.
Like the MDR regulation.
Exactly, things like that. Plus, you have established pharmaceutical and medical device giants constantly innovating. And there's a strong focus now on advanced therapies and digital health solutions across Europe.
And within Europe, Germany seems to lead the pack.
Yes, Germany leads among European nations. It's rising from $332.11 million in 2021 to an impressive $1,454.14 million by 2033. That's a strong CGR of 13.219%, largely due to its robust manufacturing base and strong R&D investment.
And the UK, still a major player.
Oh, yes. The UK isn't far behind at all, going from $269.42 million in 2021 to $1,135.06 million in 2033. That's a 12.784% CGR, driven partly by its innovative biotech sector and significant digital health initiatives.
Right. And it's not just those two, is it?
No.
What about the other contributions across the continent?
No, not at all. We also see really steady growth in other key European players. France, for instance, moving from $242.31 million in 2021 to $930.38 million by 2033. Italy is growing from $162.67 million to $635.41 million.
Okay.
Spain also shows healthy growth, reaching $543.06 million by 2033. And what's particularly interesting is how some smaller nations are making really meaningful contributions, often by specializing.
Like who?
Well, Sweden is set to reach $471.05 million, Denmark $300.48 million, Switzerland $286.69 million by 2033. These are often driven by strong research institutions and niche medical technologies.
And you mentioned Luxembourg.
Yes, Luxembourg is a great example of rapid scale up from a smaller base. It's projected to expand significantly from just $27.11 million in 2021 to over $100.89 million by 2033.
Wow.
Possibly due to specific government incentives or perhaps a real focus on high-value specialized services.
Okay. Europe, a consistent engine. But now, if you're looking for where the, let's say, the most explosive growth is happening, we need to turn our attention to Asia Pacific. Our sources identify this as the fastest growing region in the entire market. This is where it gets really interesting.
That's absolutely right. Asia Pacific truly stands out. It has the highest THR globally, 13.962%.
13.9%.
Yeah. So in 2021, the region's revenue was $9,100.32 million, just under $2 billion.
Okay.
It's expected to nearly double that to $3,201.8 million by 2025. And then projected to exceed $9,109.28 million by 2033. Over $9 billion.
That is a staggering jump.
Right.
What is it about the Asia-Pacific region? What's unique about its market dynamics or healthcare landscape that's fueling such rapid, such explosive expansion compared to, say, North America or Europe?
Well, this explosive growth isn't just about, emerging economies in the old sense. It reflects a huge burgeoning middle class across many countries there. That means significantly increased healthcare spending. Plus, governments are actively investing in domestic medical device innovation.
To improve access and quality.
Exactly. They want to improve healthcare access and quality for their populations. So companies are looking to develop solutions tailored for these massive, diverse populations. And that drives a huge demand for localized design and development expertise.
And China must be a huge part of that story.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
China is a significant driver in that growth. Revenues there rising from $589.10 million in 2021 to a staggering $2,883.09 million by 2033.
Wow.
Backed by a really robust KGR of 14.166%, fueled by its massive population, a big push for domestic medical tech, and rapid digitalization in healthcare.
But the data suggests India might be an even bigger story within Asia Pacific, at least in terms of the growth rate.
Absolutely. India is showing truly explosive growth. It actually boasts the highest EGR among all regions globally.
Higher than China's.
Yes, an impressive 14.8%. It's projected to grow from $290.75 million in 2021 to $1,521.25 million in 2033.
What's behind that surge in India?
It's propelled by a rapidly expanding patient base, increasing healthcare infrastructure, definitely growing medical tourism, and a strong focus on digital health and, importantly, affordable medical solutions for its population.
Right. And it's not just China and India, though. Other players.
No, alongside these giants, Japan, South Korea, and Australia also make significant contributions. Japan reaching $1,426.51 million by 2033, South Korea $791.6 million, Australia $427.23 million.
Okay.
And we shouldn't forget countries like Singapore, projected at $341.60 million, Southeast Asia as a whole, $512.85 million, and Taiwan, $325.75 million. These are often making waves by specializing in high-tech medical device innovation and acting as key regional hubs.
Fascinating. Okay, let's shift gears again. Let's talk about South America. While it's not as large as the regions we've just discussed, our sources indicate it's on a steady and pretty impressive climb in this market.
That's a good way to put it. South America's market is projected to rise from $403.82 million in 2021 up to $1,815.71 million in 2033. So it's maintaining a healthy 13.326% CAGR.
Still very strong growth.
Absolutely. This growth is largely underpinned by increasing healthcare investment, expanding public and private health services, and a growing demand for modern medical technologies across the continent.
And by 2033, the leaders there are expected to be Brazil at around $674 million, Argentina at $386 million, Colombia over $300 million, Peru $127 million, and Chile $136 million. What stands out to you about this region's potential?
Well, what's compelling about South America, I think, is the combination of an improving economic outlook in several key countries and a real drive to reduce reliance on imported medical products.
Ah, okay. Fostering local innovation.
Exactly. That fosters local innovation and partnerships, creating significant demand for design and development services that really understand the specific needs and, importantly, the regulatory frameworks of these diverse economies.
Right. Okay, next up, let's move to the Middle East. This region is shaping up to be a high-growth frontier for these services.
Absolutely. It's expected to grow from $253.38 million in 2021 to $1,131.67 million by 2033. That's another strong CAGR, 13.254%.
What's driving that?
It reflects a strategic diversification effort, moving away from traditional industries in many countries there. We're seeing significant government investment in advanced healthcare infrastructure and medical research capabilities.
And by 2033, the key players there are set to include Saudi Arabia at over $300 million, Turkey around $200 million, and the UAE climbing to nearly $220 million. We also see potential from others like Egypt at $150 million and Qatar around $95 million. How does this region's sort of unique investment strategy influence the demand for these design services?
Well, many Middle Eastern nations are actively investing really heavily in building world-class healthcare systems. They want to foster domestic innovation too. This often involves establishing brand new research centers, state-of-the-art hospitals, and directly funding local startups. All of that just creates fertile ground for medical product design and development services, especially those that can bring in international best practices and help accelerate local production.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, let's explore Africa. Our sources highlight its strong potential for growth, but also acknowledge, the existing infrastructure challenges.
That's an important distinction to make, yes. The market there is expected to grow from $213.79 million in 2021 to $941.98 million in 2033.
Approaching $1 billion.
Yes, with a CAGR of 12.374%. So, despite those infrastructure hurdles, there's a rapidly increasing demand for accessible and, crucially, affordable healthcare solutions. This is often driven by mobile health initiatives and major efforts to address significant unmet medical needs on the continent.
And within Africa, South Africa is poised to lead, reaching about $357 million by 2033.
Correct.
Followed by Nigeria at around $164 million. What drives the growth in those specific countries?
Well, these countries often have relatively more developed healthcare systems compared to some neighbors. They have a larger base for medical research and innovation, plus a growing middle class and a focus from governments on improving public health outcomes.
And the need for local solutions.
That's a significant driver.
Yeah.
The need for localized solutions, adapted to specific disease burdens in Africa and also resource constraints, makes specialized design services absolutely vital. They need products that work there.
Right. So as we've really seen from, well, every corner of the globe, the medical product design and development services market is truly entering, it sounds like, a golden age of opportunity.
It really seems that way.
It's clear that the future of healthcare innovation really hinges on these specialized services.
Yeah, and the driving forces behind this huge growth, they're multifaceted, but they're also interconnected. We're seeing rapid digitalization in healthcare, which just creates all these new possibilities for diagnostics, remote care, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
There's also rising global R&D expenditure. Companies are pouring more resources into developing groundbreaking therapies and devices.
And the regulations we mentioned.
And crucially, yes, there's an increasingly complex global regulatory environment. It's getting harder, not easier, to get products approved worldwide. All these factors together just accelerate the need for external, specialized development expertise. Companies often can't do it all in-house anymore.
So those big numbers we talked about.
Right. The global figures rising from roughly $7.9 billion in 2021 to over $34 billion predicted by 2033. They aren't just abstract numbers on a page. They represent a real strategic shift in how healthcare products are conceived, developed, and brought to life. It promises a future of medicine that should be faster, smarter, and profoundly more innovative, really driven by the specialized design and development expertise.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? I mean, given these incredible trends we've just walked through and the critical role of design and development, how might these specialized services directly impact the next medical breakthrough that touches your life or the lives of people you care about? What new areas of innovation do you maybe foresee benefiting most from this market, a huge expansion in the coming years? Something to ponder. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling a really big question in healthcare. Can medical innovation actually keep up with global health needs? Or are there, hidden roadblocks?
Yeah, it's a critical question.
We're digging into the medical product design and development services market. This isn't just about fancy new gadgets. It's really about accelerating the future of medicine itself.
Exactly.
So our mission for you today, unpack the dynamics, the hurdles, and the exciting trends in this market, basically get you up to speed fast on why it's so important.
And it really is indispensable now. I mean, as healthcare pushes the limits, these services are how companies innovate quickly.
Right.
They help navigate those super complex regulations and respond to what's happening globally.
Right.
It's where, the big ideas actually become real medical tools.
Okay, so if it's that critical,
Hmm.
what's really fueling the growth? Where's the demand coming from for these kinds of services?
Well, it definitely starts with that constant push for cutting-edge devices.
Yeah.
But maybe more specifically now, it's about personalized and preventative tech.
Ah, okay. Personalized. Like what?
Think AI diagnostics you wear at home,
Yeah.
or smart implants monitoring conditions 24/7. It's not just smaller or faster anymore.
Right.
It requires a totally different way of thinking about design. You need specialists, often external ones.
Mm-hmm.
Healthcare systems everywhere are facing really complex issues.
Hmm.
So they need smarter, more intuitive tools. And that's why manufacturers turn to these service providers. They offer, tailored solutions to bring these complex ideas to life way faster than trying to do it all in-house.
That's a really key point. Personalized and preventative, not just new. But it's not only about the tech itself, is that there's a huge demographic thing happening too.
Oh, absolutely.
The aging population, more chronic diseases.
Hmm.
How does that shift play into this market?
It's a massive driver. I mean, look at conditions like diabetes, heart disease, respiratory issues. They're more prevalent.
Yeah.
And that directly fuels the expansion of the medical device market. You've got more people living longer, often with complex long-term needs. So the demand for devices to manage all that, it skyrockets.
Okay.
And this is where those development services become so crucial. They help speed up the creation of devices that are safe, effective, and this is vital, meet all the regulatory requirements.
Right, the compliance piece.
Exactly. Devices that actually improve patient outcomes.
Mhm.
So yeah, that demographic shift, it's a core force driving steady growth here.
So demand's up, demographics are shifting. How do companies actually handle that pressure to innovate so fast? I guess outsourcing becomes less of a choice and more strategic.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's definitely a strategic move now. More and more manufacturers are turning to external design experts. Why? Speed to market, that's the killer app.
Okay.
In healthcare today, missing a launch window is incredibly expensive. These service providers offer this unique mix: deep regulatory know-how, amazing prototyping speed, and just a wide range of engineering talent.
A combination that's hard to build yourself.
Very hard. And that mix lets companies hit tight deadlines and keep up with the innovation cycle, gives them a real edge.
Okay, but it can't all be smooth sailing. Even with fast growth, there have to be challenges. What are the big hurdles for these design and development services? I'm betting regulations are high on the list.
Oh, they're arguably the biggest hurdle. Getting, say, FDA clearance or a CE mark in Europe, it's not just paperwork.
Right.
It's a maze. ISO standards, biocompatibility tests, clinical validation, years of data.
Wow.
And the really tricky part for service firms, it's not static. Regulations like Europe's MDR keep changing. You have to build continuous compliance into your agile process.
That sounds incredibly difficult to keep up with.
It is. Many in-house teams just can't manage that level of specialized, ongoing regulatory expertise. If you fail, huge delays, recalls, lost opportunities, it's serious.
Makes sense, a moving target, like you said. And then there's the money side. Let's talk costs and financial risk. That must be a huge factor too, right? How does that play into outsourcing?
The costs are. Yeah, they're significant,
Yeah.
and they add up fast. Medical product design isn't just sketching.
No.
It's intense research, multiple prototypes, validation testing, often really expensive clinical trials. For startups or smaller firms, that upfront investment can just be crushing.
I can imagine.
And here's the tough part. Not every product makes it, even promising ones. That uncertainty makes getting funding really hard. So yeah, that pushes more companies towards external partners who can maybe share that burden or offer more cost-effective pathways.
Spreading the risk, essentially. Okay, and one final challenge, trust. When you bring in outside help, there's always that worry about intellectual property, data security. How big of a concern is that?
It's a very real concern, definitely. Companies are naturally protective of their innovations and patient data,
Of course.
so they can be hesitant about sharing everything with a third party. There's always that risk of IP theft or data leaks, however small.
So what does that mean practically?
It means strong legal agreements, NDAs, really focusing on building trust. These become essential parts of the process. Necessary, but they can sometimes slow things down compared to just working internally.
Right, adds another layer. Okay, so we've covered the growth drivers, the big challenges. Let's pivot to the future. What exciting trends are really shaping this market going forward? What's the first big one you see?
I'd say the integration of digital health and IoT, the Internet of Things. It's accelerating fast.
Making devices smarter, more connected.
Exactly. Think real-time monitoring from home, using AI for predictive analytics, seamless wireless connections, mobile apps talking to electronic health records.
That sounds like a whole different ballgame.
It is, and it demands serious collaboration. Hardware engineers, software devs, and crucially, US user experience designers. They all have to work together to make these solutions seamless and focused on the patient. It's a huge shift in how products get made.
That convergence is fascinating. And you mentioned UX. That brings us to another key trend, right? The rise of human-centered, UX-driven design. How does focusing so much on the user change things?
It's truly transformative. We've moved beyond just making something functional.
Okay.
Devices now have to be intuitive, comfortable, genuinely easy to use for patients and for doctors or nurses.
And that actually improves outcomes.
Absolutely. It directly improves treatment adherence. If a device is a pain to use, people just won't use it consistently.
Makes sense.
So focusing on UX improves satisfaction too. Teams now do usability testing much earlier, watching real users interact with prototypes, making sure the device fits into life, into workflows, instead of being, a burden.
That's a really profound change. Okay, final trend, and this one sounds exciting from an agility perspective. Rapid prototyping and 3D printing. How's that changing the game?
Oh, it's revolutionizing how things get built.
Mm.
Just incredible agility. Rapid prototyping, 3D printing.
Mm.
You can create physical models in hours or days, not weeks.
What?
That means you get feedback from clinicians, from patients, really early. And you can incorporate it super fast, make adjustments before you spend a fortune on tooling.
So faster iterations, lower costs early on.
Exactly. Companies can bring ideas to life, test them out, tweak them, all in record time. That's speed. It's a massive advantage in a market driven by urgency and constant innovation.
So what a journey. We've covered this really dynamic, specialized world of medical product design and development services. We've hit the growth drivers, personalized tech, demographics, the trends shaping the future, and yeah, those complex regulatory and financial hurdles.
It's clear, isn't it? This market isn't just growing. It's going to play an absolutely central role in how healthcare works in the future.
Yeah.
Which leads to a thought, maybe for you listening. If we think about how fast tech is moving and this intense focus on patient experience, What completely new types of medical products might we see in, say, the next 5 years? And how could they really change our everyday lives?
That is a fantastic question to think about. What could be next? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. We really encourage you to keep exploring these topics. Until next time.